For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. It says, because necessity is laid upon me. And in fact, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. So Paul is saying that I am not receiving any money. And to you, that sounds like a noble statement that I would say I would rather die than be robbed of the pride to say that I preach the gospel without asking for money. But Paul is saying, I don't even see it as a noble gesture, because although I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of. And even necessity is laid upon me. In fact, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto. Paul is saying, if I had to preach this thing willingly, there is a reward. Yes, I understand. But even if I have to do it against my will, even if I am robbed, even if people steal from me, even if people beat me and I still have to do this thing, even though it is against my will, Paul is saying, regardless, there is a necessity that is still laid on me. So in other ways, I still have to preach it. If a Jew is saying, woe is unto me, that word woe there are things that you use for the devil, you use for demons, you use for apostates, you use for people who have departed from the faith, heretics, and things like that. And Paul is using that weight on himself, that woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. I'm saying all of this because you see, the truth is this: it's not like the Christians these days do not know about the gospel. The problem is that we do not carry the level of weight that Paul is putting on himself. And maybe we're not seeing what Paul is seeing. That's why we're not putting that level of responsibility on ourselves. We know the gospel, we just don't preach the gospel.